Who is ready to slay this Monday? Hello, hello, hello. Where are my lady ballers? I know the weather is wonky, and you know what? For me, no excuses today. Actually, love that I had a TV spot today because usually the rain just makes me want to hibernate. So, hey Tracy, good morning ladies. I am really lit up. I'm like pitting out. I know I always say that. I know I don't use antiperspirant anymore, so that doesn't help. I'm trying to get this at a good angle. Okay, is that good? Apologies, I know I tell y'all to get all of this situated, but I was vertical. Hey Tam. So, lit up, lit up, lit up, lit up. Did I mention I'm lit up? So happy Monslay, and yes, I'm gonna be that life coach that uses, I nerd out on some of these words, but it all in an effort. You know, I'm a word girl, so I've got affirmations everywhere. I've got things, I'm looking at my refrigerator. Tam's the same way. I've got things on my mirrors. Words, speaking life, power of your thoughts, you can control it. So even words like Monslay, Monday motivation, Happy Friday, they all seem like a silly meme that we scroll past, but it really does help me. So good morning, happy Friday. It was a big weekend. I mentioned it on my Instagram. You got your notebook, Tam. I love that. I love you, woman. You are such an example of taking charge of your life, your dreams, and doing the freaking work. And I honor you for that. So I was just a guest on CW33, and I got really emotional afterwards because I was nervous. Yes, I still get nervous, and that's why I can teach on it, because I had to do all the things. I had to jump on the rebounder. I had to get grounded and centered. And realized, I think it was only the second time that I've had an actual TV spot. I've been on a ton of podcasts, but really the second time maybe, might have just been the first, where I was actually on a television show in this new season of my life, being a full-on entrepreneur and an empowerment coach. Again, I've done a ton of podcasts. In fact, I've been a guest on Ron Corning's podcast and Jenny Onchando's podcast. Melissa Plaskoff is the producer, and she and I are dear friends. She's a partner of mine in Rock the Camera VIP. She owns Onair Media, where we held, it happened right before quarantine. So it is always to have your colleagues call upon you for advice, especially on television. It's a true honor. And so I wanted to share that with all of you. As Tammy, literally, you are such a great example of what I'm talking about with building your brand, and you will be the go-to authority to speak on the second generation of parenting. So keep doing what you're doing. So with all of the years of growth in my YouTube channel, and I know many of you, including Tammy, you're putting your videos up on YouTube, and that is worldwide. Anyone in the world, which is so powerful, can tune in and just stumble across you on YouTube. So that's how I started out. I started out on YouTube. And as I continued to grow and evolve, I started a business. Of course, Real Housewives gave me a huge platform. But today, to really be called upon as an empowerment life coach was pretty cool. It's a pretty cool day. And I have to revel in that. And I share that with you because I want you all to do the same. If it is your first live on Facebook, if it is your first Instagram live, if you put that first video up on YouTube, celebrate it. It's a win, and keep the momentum going. Keep the momentum going, because you do the work, you keep showing up. You know, that is what I'm kind of harping on right now. It's like, oh my gosh, Tiff keeps saying this. But showing up is everything. Showing up is everything. Thank you, Tam. I was nervous, girl. Keep showing up and show people what you do. Speak with authority. Be genuine. Be authentic. And hey, Carrie, and you will, I guarantee you will get, God's my PR agent. I didn't have to have a publicist to get me a guest spot on TV. Keep showing up, sharing your message, showing the world on Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, whatever those, I say 2 things, rock them out. If you're on Instagram and Facebook right now, rock them out. Tammy has now expanded into the last few weeks, putting her videos on YouTube. So show people what you do, ladies. This is not the time to hold back anymore. This is not the time to keep your voice silenced. It is not time to keep the muzzle on. And I will say there is a time to be behind closed doors and doing the work. If y'all knew the hours, and you didn't see it because I was behind closed doors, the hours upon hours, they say 10,000 hours is mastery. Over 10,000 hours. I would say close to 20,000 hours. I actually added it up in a journal during quarantine. I want to say it was like 16,000-ish hours that I have spent in my spiritual university. I call it the spiritual workout, that morning time with God, reading the Bible, reading every self-help book on the planet, investing in myself. Good morning, Lindsay. Lindsay's doing the same thing. Lindsay is rocking it out and she's showing up. She's doing the Facebook Lives. She is sharing her message, right? So the thousands of hours that it takes. I know Tammy and Lindsay, I know they do this. I've coached with them one-on-one. The hours that you allow God to work on you so that you can hone your message. You do get to the place of healing before you can get on and you are ready to help. It doesn't mean that we're completely healed and we're completely, God puts us out on the platform. What was it Moses always said? I'm not a leader. And God was like, yes, you are. Pushed him out there to lead the Israelites into Egypt. So the thousands of hours behind closed doors that it took to get to this place. That's why I want you ladies to keep showing up in your private time with God. Keep showing up when you are feeling convicted. If y'all remember that first Facebook Live that I did right before quarantine, it was crazy because I had no idea, none of us did, what was about to happen. And God was like, okay, it is time to pull back a little bit on Instagram, learn TikTok, and get back on Facebook. And I was like, my Facebook got hacked. The one with thousands. Can y'all imagine? Everyone were trying to build and get the right followers. I had built, but I had to get to that place where I said, okay, God, if I can't get that huge page back, I think my fan page that Bravo had us create, I wanted to say had about 10,000 followers. It was my public fan page. Lost them all. Lost all of that. So I couldn't sit and complain and keep reaching out to, Facebook has, it's very difficult, the customer service. And I know I'm on Facebook right now. So if somebody's hearing me or listening in on Facebook, can you amp up your customer service, please? Your help center. So ladies, Tam messaged me that she woke up in the middle of the night with a little bit of pain. And what does she do? Did she sit there and wallow in her pain and complain about why is this happening to me? No, she sought God and she got her journal out. And I had mentioned in my Instagram with my wet hair last night that I was going to be talking about clarity. And Tam messaged, she goes, you know what? I am going to start this process in the middle of the night instead of just laying here complaining about the pain that I'm in, and which makes me emotional because that is what it takes, ladies. You push past the pain. How bad do you want it? How bad do you want to serve? How bad do you want to be used by God. And I loved what Amaret posted yesterday. It was something to that effect. There are people out there that are waiting for you to step into your destiny because they are waiting to be used, to be touched, inspired, helped, healed, encouraged, educated through you. Whew. Let that settle in. Hey, Deborah, let that settle in, ladies. So if it means what all of that expansion was when I said, sometimes we are quiet. Sometimes, and it doesn't mean you're silencing your voice, but you are quiet. You're behind closed doors. You're working through some things because this is a strategy. This isn't, there's an element of fly by the seat of your pants. What I always say, doing it is better than perfection. But also getting to the place of healing where your thoughts are concise. You have some sort of idea to your destiny brand before you just get on and let whatever fly out of your mouth. You're not God driven. You're not being a vessel. If it's ego driven and like, oh my gosh, I need the attention and I just need to get on for the sake of getting on, you could offend people. You could hurt instead of heal. So there is that time where God wants you to be under his wing, quiet, or think of it as being on the potter's wheel, and embrace that time. I have gone through those times more times than I can count. We can call it the cocoon phase. So, and then you're ready. You've gained, and that's what I'm going to get to, the clarity. You gain some clarity again, and you're ready to emerge with a new, deeper understanding, a new, deeper sense of healing and empowerment so that you can show up and help heal and empower your tribe and the women that you need. Not just the women, the families. Tammy is serving families. It is a partnership with her husband. They are grandparents. They are parents. They're grandparents parenting these young girls. And I highly recommend going and checking out her video from, I believe it was Friday, talking about the aha moment, the biggest takeaway from the 21-day challenge. It's huge to hear young girls, and Jaden's a teenager, speak about these things. It is huge. So in those quiet times that I know Tammy has, Lindsay has, that God is fine-tuning, has you on the potter's wheel and cutting away, pruning, right? That's another analogy that I love. Pruning away the things that no longer serve us so that we can bear bigger, better fruit. It's huge. So today I was on CW, I mentioned I was on CW33, and what an honor that they reached out to me and said, hey, we have, instead of Motivation Monday, it's Meltdown Monday. It's kind of just a funny take on it. And we would love for you to speak on clarity, and which is one of my favorite topics because I believe that you can't get anywhere without clarity. And I mentioned on CW33 that, and it just came to me right in that moment. It wasn't even the notes that I sent the hosts, but you think about a car, and we're all planning road trips now and altering family vacations because maybe that extravagant trip, getting on the airplane, all of those things. So you're having to plan a road trip. Well, think of your journey towards clarity as that. You get in the car and just go with a dirty car, dirty windshield. Don't type in anything to the navigation. You don't have any snacks. You didn't pack any clothes. It's going to be a really crappy trip, and you're not going to get very far. You don't put gas in the tank, right? So our journey to clarity is taking assessment of where we are. Okay, well, where do we want to go? Well, we can't plan on where we want to go until we say, hey, where are we right now? Okay, well, I'm in Dallas or wherever, what city you're in. This is where we are, right? Well, this is where I am. I'm in a total state of confusion. I've lost my job. Now my husband and I are so all about multiple streams of income, which is interesting because that was my January 1st my huge goal for Fempire. Remember, my word for the year is Fempire. Fempire 2020 was I wanted to get up to about 7 streams of income. Well, my husband had just a few. He does investing, he does his gigs. So now he's added where he's doing Amazon a few days a week. He is now teaching guitar a few days a week. He's doing his investing. So it's interesting to, now that we're in the midpoint of the year, if you look back at some of the goals, if you continue to press forward and stay excited about your dreams, I bet that you have achieved more. You know, I told the producers, I said, can we stop talking about 2020 being a wash? And hey, Leah, 2020 being, you know, just sucking, and you know all the memes. Can we get excited again and look at where we are, say, you know what, we've actually achieved. I know many of you ladies, I know some of your dreams, you've told me, you've achieved those dreams. Tammy's gotten, hey Ann, Tammy's gotten national television exposure for Grants to Parents for her brand. Lindsay has a thriving multiple streams of income. I know that was one of her goals. So high freaking five, ladies. So where are we? Where do we want to go? What's our destination? We're going to fill up that gas tank. We're going to get filled up again. What lights us up? Let's get excited. You know, we've done all the pouting and all the crying, and it doesn't mean we're not going to cry again. It doesn't mean we're not going to get frustrated again, but this is a new season. It's time to buckle up, map out where we're going, and plan it out. You set your navigation, you pack your clothes for that trip, you get the snacks that you want, you get some water, you get the staple things that you need on that road trip, and you set out and you stay pretty excited, right? I remember I loved road trips. I still love road trips. As a kid, we get all the fun snacks. You get to stop at 7-Eleven and, you know, go to things like Sonic and Buc-ee's and all of that. You get excited. I love road trips. I think it's being a Texan and Aaron being an Aussie. We live in big geographical areas, so we're used to road trips. So you get excited, you stay excited, and you might take a little detour here and there. You may stop and pause for a second and look at the scenery, and all of that is okay. That is part of the journey. So ladies, take a beat, take a moment to look at all the amazing things that you have accomplished so far in 2020. Stop focusing on all of the fear-based things. If we focus on it and it's all reality, it is a pending recession. But you know what? The more and more I study with my coaches and look at and study, I'm a Tony Robbins. I model after Tony Robbins. That's what he says to do. Model after people who have gone before you and have done the thing. Do you know how many highly successful businesses were started in a recession? Yes, in a recession. Many of the companies that we connect with, buy from on a daily basis, were started in a recession. So if we focus on the numbers are up for COVID in Dallas, all of the things, the masks, we have to wear them. I don't go a lot of places anyway. I do so much from home. It just means maybe I'm just going to stay home a little bit more, you know, until the numbers come down. We all should play our part, but it's not fun. Let's face it. It's not fun. There's an air of a bit of control with that. You know, we feel like we're being controlled by the government, and that's a whole nother video. Probably shouldn't be on Facebook. So, destination. We cannot, unless you know where you are today, how can you map out where you're gonna go tomorrow? So assess where you are today. If you are frantic and frenetic and confused and all over the place, an empowered woman is not a woman of confusion. She is not. Confusion leads to anxiety, which will, if any of you, I've battled depression on and off my entire life. It will send you straight into depression. So claim today. Can we all Take a deep breath and own. I took the whole weekend because it was summer solstice. It was raining, which I was beautiful that I was able to do this. And it was, you know, just that kind of, that just juicy, being in the house, comfy. Had a lot of time to myself. Aaron had to work, and journaled it out. I haven't been journaling as much as I should. So what I'm sharing with you today is because I did it all weekend. I carved out that time for me and God to assess, where am I today? Where do I need to go? I need to get clear on that. So assess where you are today. Take some time, carve it out. And the last thing I want to leave you with is, if you've got a trash can January 1st, hey Kimmy, if you have to trash can January 1st vision board because it's creating too much chaos, or maybe take some things down, let's treat July 1st as New Year's. Can we all do that? I am so excited about this concept, ladies, because if you've been following in my blog, sanctuaryofstyle.net, which is not really active anymore, I always got my tribe, the Sanctuary of Style ladies, excited towards the end of June, because that meant we were at the midway point. And how are we going to rock out the next 6 months? So this last 6 months, you probably saw what a badass you were. You know what I mean? It was a challenging, unprecedented time. That word is the most appropriate word, unprecedented. To have this happen in our generation, in our lifetime, it is unprecedented. But you know what? You ladies that had to teach your kids, you ladies that might have lost your job or gotten laid off, maybe you're like me, you started side hustles. You're like, I'm going to embrace this and start that side business. So many clients, these women that I'm doing these one-off intensives with on Mondays. I've got some today. And normally I don't do one-off sessions anymore because I do programs. But because of what's happened, I lowered the rate, created a 90-minute intensive, and I'm only offering that on Monday. I see my other clients that are on my private roster Tuesdays and Wednesdays. So many women that have gotten on with me on Mondays have started a blog. They've started a YouTube channel. They've started a podcast. They've started writing the book. They've started a private group on Facebook, their own tribe. So right now, the beauty of this time is you can reinvent yourself. That's a whole nother video maybe I'll talk about next week. This is a beautiful, beautiful time of reinvention. Like, bleep or get off the pot, as my grandma Betty Jo would say. It is time. It is time. So can we all fan the flame? Remember on Friday, I jumped on late in the afternoon. I was starting dinner and I just felt convicted to hop on and encourage you ladies to take some time. I knew I was going to do that this weekend, but take some time to fan the flame, get your passion back. COVID does not get your dreams. This pandemic does not get your dreams. The recession does not get your dreams. The riots do not get your dreams. God gave you your dreams. No one can take them. Nothing externally that is happening can take your dreams, ladies. So fire them up. If you have to start, I'm going to do it today, starting this evening, because I mapped out some things that I want to do. I journaled and I wrote out some things. What do I really want? What do I really want? Maybe that's changed from January 1st. And I had the headscarves for January 1st. That's come to fruition. So I can take that down and put up, and I need to sit with some magazines or print out some things for the remainder of 2020 and what I want to accomplish. So that is why I'm so passionate about it, because I see it happen in my own life, and it is available to you as well. It is so available to you, but you've got to, no one else can fan your flame. I can get on and motivate you. I can teach you some of these principles and methodologies that I found that work for me, but nobody can take your dreams. But in the same breath, no one can fan your flame and give you passion. That is up to you to do the work. That is up to you to sit with God in the morning, get in alignment, get this clarity that I'm talking about, if we wind ourselves up and focus on the obstacles, you know what? There's some big problems. There is. That's reality. There's some big problems in the world. But you know what? My God is bigger. My God is bigger. And in some of these problems have come amazing opportunities. So that's what I want to leave you with today. I so admire each of you and what you're doing and what you're building. And again, it is where you are right now. Whether you are rocking it out and you've got to thrive, I am building. If I were to sit and think, wow, I had 10,000. I also had a Sanctuary of Style Facebook page that had about 8,000 because I would funnel my YouTube followers over into that page. Gone. This private group, I am not about the numbers. I'm about the women hey Kat, who want to be here, that are like-minded, that are mission-driven women, that need this support and connection. And look how beautiful it's been. That was my intention. I'm not about numbers for this group. So if I were to sit and think about those thousands and thousands of potential clients, that to me, there's souls. I look at souls first, but it also can convert into building my business and women that I can coach. If I sat and really thought about that for too long, talk about a lack of clarity and confusion and just being plain old pissed off. And I would complain about it. And we all know complaining blocks our blessings. Complain and remain. So I can't. I had to start a new page. I am building again, and I am doing what I can do and staying in a place of clarity myself. But this weekend, I had to do a lot of work. I mean, there were times I was in tears. I got down on my hands and knees. And we can all look at the obstacles and the problems, or we can look at how big God is and fan the flames of our dreams. And again, no one can do that for you. So if you're making excuses, the kids, the this, the that, you know what? You got to carve it out. I carved out this weekend. And you know what? I had some invitations that I had to decline and doing some really fun things. And my husband had to go without me. And thank God my besties understand. I was like, even before this morning television invitation happened, this guest spot this morning, I had already planned it. And at the detriment of thinking, you know what? Not the detriment, that's the wrong word, but you know what? You might piss some people off. How bad do you want it? Do you decline some invitations because you know that weekend is the only weekend that you're going to have to work on some things and work on yourself? Then say the best yes for you. Saying yes to the fact that, wow, you know what? This weekend I need to get anchored because I'm going to continue down this slippery slope. So no, I don't need to go drink skinny margaritas. And then maybe the next weekend, well, the weekend before that, I went to one of Aaron's gigs. My girlfriend came in town. I did a lot of social stuff last weekend. Sunday evening, had dinner with friends. I was like 3 or 4 times last week. That's a lot for me, especially after everything we've been through. And then I was like, oh, this weekend coming up, it's summer solstice. It is the solar eclipse. And I wanted to take that time because looking at my schedule, before I know it, in a week and a half, it's going to be July 1st. So carve out the time, make yourself a priority, make your dreams. And if you have to treat July 1st as January 1st and get excited again and celebrate, maybe that's what we should do. Maybe I should plan that. Do a July 1st, like thinking of like a New Year's Eve celebration here. So I would love to hear from you. I would love to hear how you're feeling. I would love to hear how you are going to shift out of confusion into clarity. And remember, it's the simple mantras. I am a woman of clarity. I speak my truth with love. I live my truth. I walk in destiny. I live a life worthy of the calling I have received. I use my voice with clarity, passion, and authenticity. I am a woman of purpose. I am a woman of clarity. I am a woman of power. And that is what Lady Baller does. So I honor you. I see the sun's poking out, thank goodness. So get excited, ignite, fan your flame, And I know that if you align with God and you affirm these things and you get clear, you are going to be amazed at what you're going to accomplish by December 31st, 2020. If you have to get out, Think and Grow Rich, you know that book I read a little bit every day, Writing, Praying, Devotional, yes, is you write a declaration. It's called definiteness of purpose. Napoleon Hill talks about this, definiteness of purpose. So you write out, by December 31st, 2020, I will acquire, maybe your business is just starting out, and even to make an extra 10 grand, 5 grand in your business, I will acquire $10,000. I will acquire $60,000. I will hit 6 figures in my business by teaching, coaching, selling my products. Write out all the things, all your multiple streams of income, put that date on it. So that's another little side thing. If you haven't read Think and Grow Rich, you got to read Think and Grow Rich. But making a positive declaration, right? Love you, Kimmy. Love you, ladies. Love you, Tam. Love you, Lindsay. Kat. Who else? Did I miss anybody? Tammy. Okay, ladies, go rock it out. You're a badass. Just own it. Don't let anyone else tell you otherwise. Don't let the media tell you. Don't let the numbers of COVID, all of the things. Yes, be wise. Get the knowledge. Know what's going on in the world. But we all know, all these women, all of you, know that your God is bigger. Our God is bigger. I love you so much. And I give you a big hug. Have a beautiful week.